Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by SeatGeek. This is episode 399. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. And Nate.
Hello, hello. Bah.
I hate the Diamondbacks.
You hate them?
I'm just going to come right out and say it. And it's not for the reasons that you would think. I don't actually have anything against the D-backs.
So you don't hate them?
No, I do, but not actually, but I do.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
For selfish reasons.
Okay.
We mapped it out like an episode or two ago, maybe 3.
Okay.
Possibly 4.
Yes.
That we were going to finish the season with episode 400.
Yes.
Having picked the Rangers myself, thinking that they would make light work of the D-backs, they win the first game, I said, okay, we're right on track here. And then the D-backs come out and just put a good old-fashioned smacking
Sure did.
on the Rangers in game 2, which now means technically my prediction's still, we're still within the realm of possibility there. Rangers in 5. That's what I did say.
I said 6, so I think we're.
I just didn't. I wish they would have broken up the wins a little more efficiently now, because the odds of them winning 3 straight and then us being able to end the season with episode 4 or recap the finale of the World Series with episode 400, the chances of that are pretty slim now.
Yeah. But we could just wait out for the whole thing.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because otherwise I feel like we're going to have this weird,
30-minute episode that has nothing to do with 400.
Recapping one game, like game 6 or 7 or something. I don't know. So all that to say, not the biggest fans of the Rangers right now. They should have just rolled over and died.
We could just get the heck out of here in 10 minutes and then just say this is 399.5. Or, the next one be 0.5. This one's half a 1. I don't know. Could get creative.
We could milk it.
399A, and then we toss in a 399B.
And then round it out 400.
There you go.
All I have to say, though, game 1, let's go through the first 2 games here. Check it in. 2 games in. Game 1, I think you said it right before we hopped on. The best game of the postseason thus far.
For sure.
And I would have to agree.
Yeah. It's not close. Not close. Back and forth.
I was trying to think of what what number 2 would be. And the fact that I have to think about it tells you where this postseason's been.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. I couldn't even tell you. Maybe the Diamondbacks walk-off?
The walk-off?
Yeah, they hit a little walk-off bloop single. You remember that?
Which series?
They were hosting.
The Philly series.
Pretty sure it was against the Phillies, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like game 3? Game 4, maybe?
Game 3, 4. Yeah. That's right. I remember now. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But even then, it's like... It's like barely second place.
Barely.
There's a big gap between first and
it's a distant second. Yeah. Game 1, best game we've seen best postseason game we've seen thus far, for sure. The Adolis Garcia game, many are calling it.
This is the Adolis Garcia month.
The month. Yeah. Before we get into the actual gameplay, did you see there's a lot of commentary going around right now regarding the photo that it was, I included it in one of my posts that I put out.
The bicep photo?
Dude, can you explain that? Can anybody explain that?
Explain what?
Just the picture, the human being, the specimen featured in that photo.
Specimen is the right word. Yeah.
I mean, that is...
That's what I'm saying, dude. He's built like a middle linebacker.
Like, I think, yeah, his bicep is definitely as big as somebody's head.
It's nuts. I'm here for it. Dude's
That
a
is
monster.
insane. Yeah, but man, what a great start for the Rangers, though. And like I said, we'll get into it, obviously. Corey Seager, game time, 2-run homer, bottom of the ninth, 1 out. Then you have the obvious walk-off. But I think the takeaway from game 1 was that it had to have been a rather demoralizing loss for the Astros because you played your brand of baseball. You played it well. You played small ball. You had there was I think in the same what was it? The same inning you had a sacrifice bunt, a triple, and a stolen base. Like that's D-backs baseball.
It's Diamondbacks baseball, yeah.
In a single inning.
Yep.
And you hold the D-backs to minimal damage until obviously you get to the ninth and beyond. But to be able to play that well right out of the gate, to play your brand of baseball and then drop it via walk-off, that has to be a rather demoralizing loss. But clearly
not that demoralizing.
They had enough time to bounce back, to hit the reset button and come out swinging game 2. But
yeah.
Strong way to come out for the Rangers.
What was the yeah, for sure. Like the never say die. That team is just, I mean, it can't be within striking distance. Like in this game 2, I think was like the first blowout that they like really, or the Rangers really were just out of it. I think every game, every loss has been, I think it's only what? Their 3rd or 4th loss. So like, they've been playing good ball. Yeah, the Diamondbacks, I mean, that's whatever. It's funny because like I was telling you before we got on, because they're in it, I'm surrounded by people here that don't typically care about baseball that are now like watching the World Series for obvious reasons because, you know, everyone here is kind of into it. And I feel like I'm surrounded by coworkers or friends like asking me questions, and they're like, "Do you think the Diamondbacks can pull it off?" And I said it the last pod. I'll say it again. The team doesn't beat themselves. Like they don't. Like the Diamondbacks don't. They don't play bad baseball. If you beat them because you're playing well. It's not because the Diamondbacks gave you a dub. You know what I mean? Like they're not.
Game 1's a perfect example of that.
Exactly. Like you didn't. That's just how baseball goes. That's I think Torey Lovullo's quote. It was like it's just how the game goes sometimes. But yeah, like they're super sound, dude. Everything they do is good defense, good base running. They're gonna hit. They're gonna hit behind runners. They're gonna move guys over. They're gonna take extra 90s. It's just how they do it. It's fun to watch. Honestly, it's refreshing. It's super refreshing. This is a better matchup I think as the games are going, it's a more enjoyable matchup than I think we thought coming in. At least I did.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have to apologize to these two teams, including ourselves. I mean, granted,
Probably.
the series, we're only 2 games in, so we've yet to see how the rest of it plays out. But at least out of the gate, I think it proved to be far more entertaining of a matchup than I think people were giving it credit for.
Yeah.
I think both teams, like I said, they're both playing their brand of baseball. The Rangers were just, I mean, the Rangers will more often than not out homer you, and the D-backs are gonna out small ball you, and that's what they did. And like you said, the D-backs don't beat themselves. They ultimately lost to Corey Seager and Adolis Garcia. So it's like,
yeah,
that's not beating yourself. That's just getting beat by very, very good hitters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I felt a little guilty that I was giving them a hard time, and I look, if you were listening to LCS / World Series preview, I think you could, if you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, you could probably sense that we weren't exactly the most thrilled about this World Series. It's just been a tough postseason. Unless you've been a fan of these teams, and even the teams that are getting bounced, it's hard to be excited once your team gets bounced. So it's like you get to the World, like you see teams like the Braves and the O's getting bounced, and then you get to the World Series and you're left with these two, and you're like, what can we really expect? But to some people's credit, they were like, it's refreshing. We have some unique styles of baseball here. You got a team that just mashes, and you got a team that knows how to play small ball, take the extra 90, so on and so forth. So we'll see how it plays out. And game one, I think, perfectly encapsulated what it was that they were talking about. So
100%. I do think, we need to talk about, is it just me, or is Gallen not Gallen right now? There's been a couple starts in this postseason where it's like, I'm not seeing ace stuff.
Yeah, and look, that's tough. Gallen's putting himself in a tough spot, because I'm sure, did we talk, was it last episode we mentioned, had it happened by that point where he was throwing shade on Twitter to the Phillies fans, talking about go get your tickets for spring training, and he's been saying some other things, and like Seawald too. He put out that tweet where he was talking about like it's receipt season, and he's taking screenshots of people, and I'm like, this seems to me like something you would say once you've already secured the trophy. Like, let's not get it. I get it. As the D-backs coming off that series against the Phillies, you're feeling yourself a little bit. I understand that, but also, like, the series at that point, the series hadn't even started yet, and now it's tied up 1-1. So like, let's hold off on talking noise, just for a little bit.
I just don't think he's been what we're used to, and like, I think you can see in my mind, like, look, you throw 210 innings in the regular season. We've now gotten to, let's see, 11, 16, 21, 26 and a third innings in the postseason. It's probably just fatigue. Like, this is by far the longest or the most innings he's thrown in a career. So it's not like dominant stuff. Like, we go back to the first game, Milwaukee, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks. Like, that's not bad. Next game against the Dodgers, 5 1/3, 2 earned runs. Then 5 innings with 5 earned runs, 6 innings, 4 earned runs, and then Friday's game, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 4 walks. It's not like it's not bad. It's just you're used to seeing a little bit more of ace stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's where some of the confusion is coming into play surrounding the Diamondbacks, where up until game 2, where Merrill Kelly, and we'll get into it, up until game 2, where he showed up, Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly had not necessarily been the headlining names for this team in this postseason. Like, they've given you sufficiency, but not exactly dominance. Like I said, up until game 2, which speaks again to their brand of baseball. They figure out other ways to win. When they don't have it on the mound, they're going to figure out ways to scrape runs across the plate. And they've been able to do that thus far. Whether or not it's sustainable through the end of this thing, we've yet to see, but it's worked for them up to this point. So credit to them for that.
Keep doing you.
Going back to this game 1 thing, I don't know if you would agree with me, or if many other people would agree with me, but in watching that game, one of the more, you've got your obvious pivotal moments. You got the Corey Seager home run. But for me, the more not saying more pivotal than Corey Seager's home run, but one of the more pivotal moments for me was in the top of the fifth. You had Dane Dunning on the mound, and you had 2 on.
Yeah, like big chopper.
The big chop to low, and then low. Big chopper. I don't think people realize how difficult that play is, or that throw is, rather. I mean, the fielding's one thing, but making that throw, hitting a moving target with a rather bang play at first, like that could have been the game. Like if you don't, because you strand 2, if you don't keep that game at 2 or that deficit at 2, things could unravel very quickly.
That's a strong PFP.
Like you work on that as a pitcher. That's not just like, oh, we just happened to successfully execute that play. Like, no, you've worked on these kinds of things before, and I'm glad to see it panned out for him. But yeah, like I said, that was a crucial moment in game 1, and if you don't keep that at 2, and the rest of the game plays out the way it does, and Corey Seager steps up to the plate with 1 on, but you're down 4, game doesn't end the same way. But to keep it at 2, honestly, in a postseason game, and the number may be different to you, but for me, I feel like anything is possible in the 9th inning if you're within 2.
Yeah.
3 is like a little dicey, but if you always hear like a bloop and a blast. Like if you can just get somebody on, and we talked about the added importance of 90 feet in the postseason. It just changes the
first
whole
90
dynamic.
feet is the most important.
Exactly. So if you can just get, and we saw the way it happened with Seager, but if you can just get a guy on,
I think that's where the credit has to go to too. I think that was Leody Taveras that walked to get on, right?
Yeah, but also
and then Simeon out, Seager.
Speaking of Taveras, did you see that route that he took to the ball on? It was Corbin Carroll.
That little slice and dicer.
What was that?
Triple. Not good.
So I'm glad to see he at least
he made up for it.
He didn't fold there in the 9th. So good.
He made up for it because that's. I don't know. Like as a pitcher, like that can't happen. You can't walk 9 guy. You can't walk 9 guy to face Simeon Seager. Like that you can't give those 2 an opportunity with somebody on. It's not gonna work. And it didn't. Also the load, I don't know, for my hitting nerds out there, it seemed like Seager, he's a little toe tap guy. And that toe tap that he put on Seawald was like the earliest load up, I'm sitting dead red toe tap. And he got what he wanted, launched it, knew it right away.
Turned on it, dude.
He knew it. He absolutely knew it. Freaking professional hitter right there.
That call from Joe Davis too.
Yeah. Yeah. Joe Davis he's stepped into.
That is a professional call.
Uh-huh. He stepped into big time. He's up there now.
Also, I know it's been a minute since we've done our buy sell segment, but if I was to buy something this episode, it would be, I don't know if you've seen them lately, but it's the calls where they remove the broadcast and they just let the crowd noise play out.
Those are great.
Love that, dude. And I saw the one for Seager's home run. That place came unglued.
Yeah.
And to see a guy that's rather stoic kind of show that emotion.
Yeah.
And he's done it before, and he did it in that very ballpark back in 2020. He loves to get into it a little bit when the moment calls for it. And that love to see that.
I do.
You'll love to see that.
Pretty wild. I mean, I'd be on cloud 9 if I just hit a ding dong like that, and then in the post game coverage, Derek Jeter is saying that I'm his favorite player moving forward. Like if I'm Corey Seager, I'm sitting real well. It's in a good spot. It's a big confidence boost right there. That's what's up.
Like I said, man, you just hated to see a game like that end for either team. Like that was just a well played baseball game. I think. I mean, I already mentioned it, but with the D-backs playing their brand of ball, I think they finished with 4 stolen bases. I believe it was 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 4. And then again, just going back to the walk-off, like who else? At that point, who else did you think it was going to be? And the craziest part of that AB, to me at least, was the bat off the ball. The swing that he took. It did not seem
It looked like
as
a foul
though
ball,
that,
dude. It looked like that was going to slice foul. Like, before the camera angle switched, I was like, it's maybe poking down the line a little bit. It didn't, yeah.
I thought if anything, it was maybe like a slicer that would have had to have been tracked a little bit, maybe come in on a little bit, but that it was nowhere even remotely close to the warning track, much less.
You weren't accounting for the biceps, dude.
I think it went like 375 or 376 or something. I'm like that no.
Didn't have that swing on it. I agree there.
Surely didn't.
Definitely agree.
Do we need to get this man tested for real?
Maybe. Possibly.
Do you think he's already been tested?
Oh yeah, for sure. On the other side, first kind of hiccup from Big Game Nate. That didn't look like him.
No,
didn't have his stuff. Battled through.
He had 8 Ks though.
Yeah.
Which I believe I read was the most from a Ranger in a World Series game.
Yeah.
Possibly postseason? No, I think it was World Series game.
It's just barrels, dude. It's just barrels. Like, not trying to lift the ball, just smoking line drives all over the place. Hard ground balls. It's fun to watch. I got to give the Diamondbacks credit for that. Like, if you're a baseball fan and you miss what old school baseball looked like, it's them.
Which honestly makes what Eovaldi did even more impressive. To get 8 Ks against a lineup like that.
It's not a swing and miss lineup. Yeah.
I mean, well, unless we're talking Christian Walker. Yikes.
Tough.
I feel for that guy, man. You can tell
the
body language is at an all-time low for that guy right now.
A lot of haters out here. A lot of people fed up.
I mean, I get it, dude.
It's understandable.
It's not like I'm not going to speak for Diamondbacks fans out there, but like for me, if I'm looking at that, I'm going, it's nothing personal, but we gotta slide you out of here because you are very transparently frustrated with yourself, understandably so. But like, we don't have time to have the mope show here, especially like in this dugout and walking back to the dugout. We just can't have it.
He's played lights out defense though. I mean, he's a Gold Glover at first.
I know it's like, he has.
The value is still there,
and he's made some excellent plays, even just in these first 2 games.
For sure. Absolutely.
Some run-saving plays. Which, like you said, has its own value. Even like to the guys around that infield, it makes them better knowing that they have a vacuum cleaner over there at first. So I get it. Like I understand the trade-off, but man, that's tough to watch. And I think he got a knock last night, right? I think he squared one up into left
I think
center.
he did. Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah, he got on. So who knows? Maybe like we always say, it only takes one. So we'll see how it works out for him. But then game 2.
What? Hey, that was breezing by, dude. I blinked and it was in the 6th inning.
Okay, yeah. So it was sub 3 hours. It was I want to say like 2:57. So it was like right around the 3 hour mark. The game 1 the night before was like 4 hours and 2 minutes, which I also think is interesting that nobody bats an eye at that.
Right.
It's like, this was the greatest game we've seen this postseason.
Yeah.
Nobody thought twice about how long it was going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody thought twice about it. So that was interesting to see. And I'm also glad whoever made the final decision to eliminate the extra innings base runner rule for the postseason, thank you.
Genius. Yeah.
Like that, just think of how differently we'd be viewing the result of that game, regardless which way it went, if it would have ended via the extra innings base runner rule.
I do
I'm
agree.
sorry, that's not the same.
Wouldn't
Never will be.
Yeah, part of me forgot a little bit because we'd only seen that one extra inning game.
No, that was the first one. This postseason.
Oh, that was a ninth inning walk-off, huh?
Yeah.
The Arizona's one against the Phillies. I was going to say, like, nothing. Just nothing coming that way. That's cool. That's fine with me. Free baseball. Never hurts. Always on board.
But yeah, game 2, to your point, just felt like it flew by.
Oh, I mean, look, you talked about Merrill Kelly, like, coming onto the scene. Dude was absolutely commanding. Like, doing whatever he wanted. I hadn't paid attention before, so I don't know. I don't know if this was his first time calling his own pitches, but he had a little pitch column on his belt, and bro was just doing whatever he wanted. And it was like, it's that and I'll give Smoltz credit because Smoltz knows how to talk when it's about pitching, and I'll give him that. Everything else about the game, it's kind of annoying. It's super, like, surface level cliche type things you say. But when he talks pitching, he says the right thing. And he said, like, Merrill Kelly will treat that bottom line of the strike zone as if like a crossbar and like a field goal, right? And so he works. And you could just see the whole game. It was fastball that would sit bottom line, or it'd be a sinker that started at that and go right below. It was a changeup that would go right below, a cutter that would dive the other way. He had everything working. Everything working. I was impressed.
Do you know how many 3-ball counts he went to?
Maybe one, yeah. I don't know.
One.
That's crazy.
One 3-ball count.
It's pretty dang
and
good.
That's, if you think about it, I mean, we've talked about it plenty, and everybody knows it at this point, but that Rangers offense is nothing to turn your nose up at.
No, for real.
And to be able to go after those guys that efficiently and that effectively.
Yeah.
I mean, the same way you look at what Eovaldi did strikeout-wise against the D-backs in Game 1, it's equally, if not more impressive, what Merrill Kelly did reining in that offense, especially after a morale-boosting Game 1.
It's true, man. It's
hats off.
No one really caught a clean barrel off of him. It was a lot of weak contact. It was a lot of swing and miss.
World Series MVP pick right here. My guy Mitch Garver.
That was
caught a barrel.
Wild, because that ball was 4 inches down and in. No idea how he got that. No idea how he lifted that. I'm beating that into my ankle 9 times out of 10.
I think they said it was, I may be way off here, but I thought I saw that it was like 13 inches or something.
It wasn't close.
They said it was the lowest home run of his career.
It was a nasty breaker. I have no idea how he lifted that. Insane. And at that point, like, it's Merrill Kelly just tip the cap and move on, which clearly he did. But yeah, I mean, it was like when you have a sinker and a fastball, and when you're slotting on the same, like you're slotting in the same spot on the night, and you got guys that are trying to lay off of a sinker down, and I don't know how many I saw like 3 or 4 just fastball looking strikeouts that were at the bottom of the zone. Because you think sinker down, I got to leave it down. It was impressive. I like mad respect. I got to own up to that because I've been giving him a hard time pretty much all year. But my man Roland,
rolling shit from Schitt's Creek.
He managed to look pretty well. On the other side, I'd be a little nervous if I'm the Rangers, just because of like, it's kind of seems like the pitching staff is getting a little fatigued overall. Jordan Montgomery, of course, when I I had a little 3-leg parlay going, and I took the over 4.5 strikeouts for Jordan Montgomery. Bro didn't even have 4.5 swing and misses. Miserable. Super efficient with the pitch count. Like, I'll give him credit for that, but just no swing and misses. I think he maybe had 1 or 2. It was crazy.
The line was 4.5.
4.5 strikeouts, and I took the over.
That's a tough. I don't know if I'd be taking that against the D-backs. We just got done talking about
I know, but I saw Jordan Montgomery last time out, and it looked good.
Yeah, but it wasn't against the Diamondbacks.
I know. I understand. I don't like betting teams in the World Series just because you never know. Like, I don't like. So I took the over, which hit. I took the Jordan Montgomery. That was the only part that didn't hit. I had a Marte hit, which was good. I think I had like Evan Carter hit.
Nice.
Which was good. So I had everything except the strikeouts. But yeah, just didn't look great. And like, I think that shows how good Jordan Montgomery has been lately and how he's progressed, because like even then he didn't look that good. Most of the damage came afterwards. It was mostly off of the bullpen from what I saw. So yeah, I mean, look, it's just, you got to tip your cap to Merrill Kelly, man. Commanded that game. Tempo was working in rhythm. I don't know. I'm going to have to look back. I kind of want to look back and maybe see like a game recap from his last starts. I don't remember him calling his own pitches before.
I don't know. Maybe he found something. Maybe this is.
It's nasty.
Maybe we'll see it one more time this series.
Yeah, you got to think if there's a game, like a game 6 or 7.
He'd go 6.
He would either.
No, because Sunday travel. So that's 1. Game 3, 4, 5, travel day. So he could go game 5 on short rest, or he could go 6 on maybe an extra day of rest.
So yeah. Unless they're in like a clinch position, which would be wild.
Yeah.
Maybe imagine the same game, Gallen, Kelly. But anyway, I was impressed. Offensively, yeah, dude. It's just, everybody's for the Diamondbacks are rolling right now.
Already mentioned it. Marte having himself a postseason. Extends his postseason hitting streak to 18, a record 18 games, which snapped a tie for the longest postseason hitting streak with the aforementioned Derek Jeter, Manny Ramirez, and Hank Bauer. He has a hit in every postseason game he's played.
You see the quote? Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Was it just the one where he said he doesn't think about that?
Yeah, he's not even thinking about it, dude. Just wants dubs.
Which I don't believe. Come on. Can we stop with the I'm not, it's not even on my radar. I'm only worried. He said I'm worried about my only, if he would have said,
here's the thing.
If he would have said, because this was the second part of the quote. He said, I'm just worried about winning and getting on base. If he would have said, just left it at the getting on base thing, I'm like, okay, I like that. A nice bat to ball guy we're talking about here. I believe that. But the whole, like, I'm just here to help my team win. Like, come on, dude. The line is tired.
I hear you typically if it wasn't this kind of guy. He's I got to impact the game somehow, some way kind of guy. You could just tell. Like, whether it's defensively on the bases, like speed is a factor. Like, he's just like, just let me impact the game in a positive way somehow, some way. So I'm kind of there. I kind of buy it.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against Marte. I'm a fan of his.
I know.
Not to any like extreme level.
Tired of a quote.
Yeah, it's more just the quote. It's all.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's an easy throwdown, but I respect the part more where he said, I'm worried about getting on base. It's
also,
like
you gotta
very well.
remember, with these dudes that like they're learning English as their second language. Like they're
That's true.
practicing
Yeah.
post-game interviews, and like it's probably a little script that they've gone through in their head a million times.
That's true.
So that would be what I would imagine. But either way,
You're
he's
so right.
Freaking fun to watch, dude. And the purple sleeve is so sick.
That's just him. That's just a silent outcry to get the D-backs to do what everybody in the baseball world wants them to do. And that's to wear purple
100%.
and teal.
And
What
with
are we
Longo rocking the teal cleats, like you could just tell they're needing it.
They're itching for it.
Give me
And
it back.
It can happen too, because I saw, I don't even remember how I ended up on this tweet, but I did some sort of search, some Google search, and then it led me to this tweet from this reporter from back in, it was either like I guess it would have been 2021 or something. And he was like, just checked with MLB. The Red Sox can wear the City Connects in the postseason if they so choose. It was something to that effect. So I'm like, okay, well, if the rule, unless they've changed it since then, they can wear, I would imagine, City Connects, throwbacks, whatever it is.
Don't show me that one. I don't need to see that. I would love to see a black jersey at home. And then I would also like to see the vest. I'm going to assume it's the starting pitcher's decision. I would guess. Whoever's comfortable enough to throw in a vest. So, those guys are weird.
I think I saw some D-backs fan post something about that's like Gallen's favorite jersey is the throwback
well, that's
one.
not going to matter because we're not going to see him here in Phoenix.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like if it was up to the pitcher,
else.
somebody else gonna have to step
PFAT
up.
needs to take one for the team. He's already a vibe. Like, let's just add to the list of
Fott seems
PFAT
like
swag.
Fott seems like a black jersey guy.
I wouldn't hate it.
In fact, they may have already announced. The D-backs do a great job of announcing the jerseys. Let fans know ahead of time. No, they don't have it out yet. So probably do it tomorrow morning. But yeah, please, just for all that's good, give us the purple and teal. Just one game.
Just one.
Just one.
Last game. How about that?
Oh, we didn't even
Game 5.
We didn't even reference it. The speaking of the purple and teal, going back to that 2001 team, did you see that post I put out about that tweet from that Chris guy drawing the comparison or the parallels to the 01 team?
The bird thing.
Yeah, dude. So Chris Middleton on Twitter, on X, says, so you mean to tell me, and this is ahead of game 1, but going back to it anyway, he says, so you mean to tell me our ace hit a bird in 2001 and our ace hit a bird in 2023. All the dates of the World Series games in 2001 are the same as the dates in 2023. The All-Star game was in Seattle in 2001 and 2023. And George Bush threw the first pitch in 2001 and 2023.
There's a lot going on there.
I mean, if the D-backs are going to do it, they've got history on their side. That's all I'll say.
It's hard for me to see it, but sure.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think now that we've got 2 games in the books, we've got a Rangers win, we've got a D-backs win. We've got our Rangers doing what they do in game 1, and also the D-backs doing what they do in game 1. And then you got the D-backs taking the win in game 2. With what we've seen so far, do you see any other scenario other than this going 7?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I could definitely see. It's just tough, dude, because like this Rangers offense, like you can see that it could go quiet. You know what I mean? Like they could get pretty quiet, and it could carry over a little bit. It's such a peak and valley type offense. So maybe Diamondbacks come out and snag the first game back here in Chase. I don't know. I don't know if I can imagine. I don't know if I can imagine the Diamondbacks winning 2 of 3. I don't know what it is.
But this is the same D-backs team that took 6 and 7 at the bank.
I agree.
Like, we can't lose sight of that.
For sure.
We're not even we're not even a week removed from that.
We're
right?
talking about a Rangers team that's only lost 3 games.
Yeah, but like that game 2 was not exactly pretty.
It was not.
And that could have a little bit of. I mean, I think they were blessed with a travel day. Hit the reset button a little bit, but like you said, they could have a little bit of a carryover effect.
How lame is it that both games are inside?
I mean, have I not said this before? It like for the postseason, if you have a park.
I think it's one thing if you're there and you're like inside this loud environment, it's better. But on TV, I want to see frigid people. I want to see people with.
You're not
going
to see frigid people in either location.
I understand. I'm just saying, like sometimes it can get a little chilly.
I mean, what is
78 degrees here right now? So,
but in what's it like in Dallas right now?
Probably the same. I hear what you're saying.
Oh shoot.
It's a little chilly?
It's 45.
Look at that. See?
Okay, yeah, but that's far from frigid.
I don't know. Playing baseball in 45 isn't warm.
It's projected.
But I'm saying I want to see fans all bundled up. I like that.
It's going to be high 70s a week from today. So I don't think it's exactly going to be getting frigid. What was I saying? What were we just talking about?
I don't know. Indoors, outdoors.
Yeah, like if you have a park that has a retractable roof, you're going to have that thing closed for the postseason.
I got to assume it's going to be open one of these nights. It's freaking gorgeous here. It's perfect right now.
Yeah, but it's easier. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know how much of an impact the marketing of a closed roof has, but like when I see, as an impartial party here, when I see the tweet come out from the D-backs or for any retractable roof team for that matter, when I see the post come out that says the roof is closed, make it loud or something to that effect, I'm like, all right, I can buy that. And I would be, if I was a fan going to the game, I'd be like, all right, time to bring a little bit of the juice. So I look, I've made it clear I don't believe in retractable roofs. I think they should be outlawed, as the same with artificial turf. But if it's there, if you got it, close that baby up. Let's get the decibels up.
So you don't think there should be any roof, or you should think there shouldn't be retractable roofs? Like, are you okay with domes where the roof just stays forever?
Sorry, I should have clarified. I meant...
You don't like roofs at all?
Yeah, but at the same time... Here's a dream scenario. And I'm sorry, I'm working this out on the fly here.
I can tell. Okay.
I haven't really put much thought into this, but this is good. This is good. I think the dream scenario would be to have a retractable roof that's used minimally, but also is over natural grass.
Okay.
And I know the science behind that probably doesn't make sense.
Houston, right?
Is it?
I think so.
I think you're right. Yeah, because I've seen grass stains before. Yeah,
I think it's
you're
possible.
Right. That, and I say the roof used
Milwaukee.
minimally because I just like
Seattle.
I don't know. Going back to this dream scenario, only use it to ward off rain. Don't be like, it's like a little chilly out. Let's close it up. No, only used to keep games from being canceled, because I don't, as much as I hate domes and roofs, I'd rather see baseball played. And if that means closing it up for a night, whatever. But keep it open 99% of the time and give me natural grass and I'll be fine.
Fair enough.
I feel like that's a more than fair compromise.
How do you feel about us getting into November here soon? It still bugs me that we're playing the World Series in November.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll be honest, I'm quickly approaching, like I think we've done this podcast long enough now to have like a rhythm and like a feel for where we're at in the year. And I feel like I'm very quickly approaching the time where I'm like, okay, we need to step away from the mic for a little bit. We're getting to that like burnout point where it's like, okay, we need to make it through the end of the World Series, and then we'll reconvene. But
I heard this. It was, I don't know, like a TikTok on like some radio show. I couldn't even begin to give it credit for who or where. It was about there was still people complaining about like the first round bye for the division winners and stuff like that, and how the week off is, not an advantage at all. The idea was that they wanted to go back to a 1-game wild card. I'm not for that. I like the 3-game wild card. I'm totally okay with the way that is. The better part of his idea was the division series, 5-game set still. Keep it all in one city. Keep it in that division winner city. No travel days. And don't have a travel day for that wild card winner either. Go play the next day. No off day. Even if it's a 3-game, you take all 3. You got to go there and play in that next city the next day. And that to me would be a true advantage. That would feel like that week off would then kind of be balanced back to that division winner having the advantage. Yeah. All in the city, all 5 if you need them, all at home. And I get that that's like, all right, it doesn't spread the love amongst cities and fan bases, whatever. This would, I think, balance the scale a little bit. Like, imagine the Diamondbacks having to go to Milwaukee, win all 3 in Milwaukee, or 2 or 3 in Milwaukee, and then have to go to LA and see the whole series in LA. A little bit of a different scenario.
I like it.
I
think I brought this up after the first round kind of wrapped up, and we were talking about all the people complaining about the structure. But I can't remember where you stood. Well, I mean, you kind of clarified just now, but between having a 3-game wild card series and a 5-game division series, would you still prefer that over going back to the 1 game, but having a best of 7 for the DS?
I wouldn't hate 7, to be honest. I wouldn't hate it. And to be fair, I have been to a 1-game wild card. I've been to 2. They're electric. Because it's like, it's all or nothing. It's here tonight, and the crowd is all about it. There's no leaving early. There's none of that. Like, it is like sell out, leave everything we have on this field. I can't argue against the live thing. But again, like, it is weird to have your entire season do that. Maybe there's some type of balance. Like, maybe there's some type of balance where, like, instead of the lowest division winner. So, like, let's just grab the American League for this example. So we had O's bye. We had Astros, bye. Right? So let's grab the Twins. And we'll say instead of them playing the 3rd seed wild card, let them play the 1st seed wild card. And make that like a 3-game set. And then the bottom 2 teams, it's just a 1-gamer. The bottom 2 wild cards.
As the worst division winning team, you get the top.
The worst division winning team, you play a 3-game wild card set. The 2 bottom wild card guys, that's just a 1 and done.
Yeah, because I think, I mean,
that'd be neat. You get a little best of both worlds there.
Yeah. But I think the intention, or I'm just speculating at this point, but I'm guessing Major League Baseball's intention for the wild card was to treat it like a play-in game. So like if that's what you wanted it to be,
and stay with the 1-gamer.
Get back to that. And like, I mean, I've said it before. I don't like the
both.
fact that
you have your camps for both. Because like there, in my mind, like there isn't that much of an advantage between the first wild card spot and the last wild card spot.
Yeah.
There should be a bigger advantage.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you won the top wild card spot. You didn't win your division, but you won the top wild card spot. I think you deserve a 3-game set. Whereas the bottom 2 guys, just a 1 and done. You get best of both worlds. I'm here for that. But I mean, if you keep the division series in-house and don't let it travel to the other city, I understand like how much you're removing from like season tickets and stuff, but you can take a good 4 or 5 days away from travel crap and off days. And we're getting this thing done in October versus creeping into the first week of November.
Speaking of getting it done in October, we have yet to mention what Tommy Pham has been doing.
Respect, dude.
I mean, I was thinking about it today. I'm like, yet another situation, yet another individual where I feel like I'm slowly starting to come around on. I'm like, at least with Tommy Pham, you kind of know what you're getting. Like, you're going to get an outspoken, like, possibly rather arrogant at times kind of guy. But he is very clear about that, and he'll let you know. And I'll be honest, when I saw the nugget about him going 4 for 4 in game 2, having a chance to become the first ever 5 for 5 guy in a World Series game, I'm like, Tori, what are we doing, guy? Mm-hmm. What are we doing?
I think everyone's reaction was that.
Yeah. And then you hear on that, you see that comment that he made on that Instagram post with that nugget, I think, was included about the becoming the first possible 5 for 5. And he was like, no, dude, I just wanted to give my guy Jace Peterson his first World Series AB. Like, stop with this narrative. And I'm like,
he's the one that went to Tori. He went to Tori and said, let's get Jace in.
So I'm like, you got to respect that.
I have nothing but respect for that move.
And like at this point, people could be arguing like, oh, he's just making that. Like, what would he gain from making that up? Like, I genuinely feel like that's more than likely the conversation that took place, and I gotta respect him for that.
Yeah.
But that dude's been getting it done. He had a
sure has.
He had a bop in game 1, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Or was it game 1?
It's Eovaldi.
Tell you what, man.
Yeah, he's doing stuff against righties now, which tells you he's locked in.
Yeah, I read
he's been like a only against lefties for the last few years. Now all of a sudden he's popping off.
I read
dumb back pick on second base yesterday.
Yeah, did you see?
Yikes.
I mean, I won't repeat it, but did you see Mike Maddox's comment? That you could very clearly make out.
Yeah, I agree. What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway.
And then I don't know if you saw, but Tommy Pham, like, there was a tweet that had the video of Mike Maddox's like lip reading thing. Mm-hmm. And then I think he just put like the receipts emoji or something. So I'm like, Rangers, be careful. Like, be careful. Don't lose this World Series because you woke up Tommy Pham of all people.
I know. Tommy Pham is definitely in the comments though. That guy's
aware.
Through.
I'll give him credit. He doesn't bury his head in the sand after games. Like he wants to know like what's being talked about. And look, all joking aside, I respect an athlete, especially a professional athlete, at this point in time, like with society the way it is now, and just the volatile things that people can say with really no basis whatsoever. And the fact that he doesn't shy away from that, he's like, no, like I want to know what's being talked about. Like I want to know what people are saying. And if I so choose, I'll gladly use whatever it is that they're saying out there to possibly serve as an advantage for me in games to come. So credit to him for that. I did read that it was hit, which I had no idea, but this was his third 4-hit game in the postseason.
Postseason? Or overall in career?
His career, which tied Albert Pujols for most in Major League history. I'm sorry, AL/NL history.
Whatever that means.
Still don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tommy Pham, credit to him. D-backs. Then I think the names, I think if there's a takeaway from these first two games, I think for the D-backs, it's that the names that you would hope would start.
Yeah, I was going to say Corbin Carroll is like really starting to roll now. Since game 7 against the Phillies, he's back, catching him at a hot time. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Evan Longoria had that that double down the line.
RBI knock, yeah. He's got I think a couple hits already.
Yeah.
Which for his sake, if they do end up winning this thing, I hope that he has something to show for it after this series is over. Like I want to see him have at least like, a handful of hits, a few RBIs here and there that he can look back and be like, I at least can. I mean, he's certainly contributed to this team's overall success this year and helping them get here just with his leadership alone.
Yeah.
But specifically in the World Series, especially with the way his first one did back with Tampa, I think that was 2008, I think. He went 1 for 20, I believe, in that World Series. So
yeah.
For him, I think I read it's 15 years later for him. If he can, yeah, that would make sense. 08. Yeah, 15. So for him to be able to return to the World Series 15 years later and actually, have himself a little bit of a series, I think would be huge. I'd love to see that. Agree.
By the way, I'm going to call a clutch Christian Walker home run. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's coming at some point.
A
clutch one. A real clutch one. It's going to wipe away all the wrongdoing so far.
Are you saying that because you believe in Christian Walker, or are you just getting tired of people rolling over on him?
I like Christian Walker, so
I don't have anything against Christian Walker.
I'm not ready to sell. I like him. People suddenly forgot he's, a 30-100 guy, and a big reason why you're here now. So,
hey, I applaud your belief in him, but I'm telling you, dude, the body language is...
It's cool. It's fine.
Rough.
Say what you will. It's coming. It's coming. Big clutch one.
What about a guy like Marcus Semien, man? He's been
You
see anything big from him in the next few games?
I don't know. That play up the middle that he played, that glove, that backhand that was like up the middle shortstop side.
Yeah.
That he made, that was impressive.
Yeah, but I mean, there's guys like that throughout the league where regardless how they're feeling at the plate, you're going to get that consistency with the glove. And I think he's very easily one of those guys.
Yeah.
But like, we're going to need a little something from you.
A little something.
Marcus, come on.
If we're going to call you a top 3 second baseman, you're going to need to show up a little bit because Ketel Marte's casting a large shadow.
He is, though. That's the thing. The regular season he had, what did he lead? Like, I think he led his team in WAR. He led the American League in some form of hitting. I don't even remember what it was. Some statistical category I think he led the American League in. So it's not like he's had a down year, and it's not like it makes sense that he's having these struggles this late in the year. But
see, I'm kind of on the opposite side.
Gonna need a little something.
I think he played well, but I'm not freaking out like everyone else. 29 home runs, 100 RBIs, 162 games played, props. Showed up every day. 276, 826 OPS. It's solid. Don't get me wrong. It's solid, but like, I'm not
as a second baseman, I'll take that.
It's solid, but like,
I wish I remembered what category it was. Because I'm almost positive there was some category that he led the American League in.
He had a big WAR. I think he had a 7.4
Yeah,
WAR.
maybe it was WAR. I don't know if he led.
But when you're playing every day, and
maybe it was AL second baseman. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. But I agree. He needs to show up and do a little something.
Yeah, those are two guys, I think, one from each team that are going to really need to do something to change the odds, to slide the odds into their respective team's favor. If one does and the other doesn't, that could be the difference. If both decide to show up over these next potential 5 games, then it's just up to the rest of the team to play their brand of baseball, going back to the brand of baseball thing, and then you just let the chips fall as they may. But
I just want a long, strong, competitive World Series.
Yeah, get me back to game 1. Game 2 is I don't want that.
Not
We had plenty of that this postseason. Get me back to game 1. Give me a couple more game 1s.
I agree.
And let's end this year on a high note.
Works for me.
Any other takeaways from first couple games? Game 3, we've got Max Scherzer on the bump and Brandon Pfaadt.
I did hear this take. I don't remember where. I don't really remember sources very well. I did hear this take that like as much crap as we've been giving Scherzer, we got to remind ourselves that like this is kind of his rehab. Like the postseason has been his rehab. You're gone for what, a month and a half? Typically you get a couple rehab starts in the minor leagues. So like his rehab starts have been against like the Houston Astros. So it's like,
no, but I thought he had a couple. Didn't he have a couple sim games in there? They built him up a little bit.
I guess sim games, but like overall,
sure.
So getting him a little credit. He did look better last time out. It's still a short leash in my mind. So what's tough is that like you saw Martin Perez yesterday, you saw Dane Dunning yesterday. Is John Gray still alive, or what's the story there?
Is
he not on the roster?
He threw. Did he not?
Did he? It makes me
game 1.
It makes me wonder what the situation is. Who is coming in after a possible short start from Scherzer?
Yeah.
And then what do you do game 4? Are you going short rest?
I'll be interested to see if we see maybe an extended outing. And I say extended, I mean, it's not going to be more than 2 innings, I wouldn't imagine. But we have yet to see Spores in games 1 or 2. I
thought he threw yesterday, no?
Not in game 2, no.
No.
And then you tack on a travel day.
Like a long middle relief type outing from him. You're going to need something. The Rangers, like their bullpen is just not good. So if you're not getting length out of Scherzer, and then game 4, it's either a short rest or a bullpen day. Like I don't understand what the game plan is there.
We shall see.
I
tell you what, Scherzer could
short rest on Nate Eovaldi.
Yeah. Scherzer could certainly do wonders for that staff if he could give them
something. Give me 5 strong.
Give me 5. Yeah, I was going to say 5.
3 earned runs or less, and you're getting a very big standing O.
I agree. I believe it can happen. Like you said, we've been giving him a lot of crap, but he's not dead. He just has not been very good. That's all I'll say. But it's within the realm of possibility for Max Scherzer of all people to be able to give you 5 with maybe 3 earned runs. Like that's very much a realistic possibility.
I think so. I think that's a fair ask.
And I think Bruce Bochy would have quite the sigh of relief if he could have the conversation with Scherzer in the dugout after the 5th saying...
Also comes down to really, like, the Rangers need to score in the first 3 innings. Like, you have to get Scherzer some support.
Yeah.
You got to score. You cannot afford to get shut down. You can't afford Fott to get settled in. You can't afford pitch count to be in good shape. Like, you need to either attack early, make him throw a lot of pitches, something to give Scherzer somewhat of a chance. But the offense has to pick it up.
I just wish for...
Give me a Scherzer CG.
Okay. I just wish for Scherzer's sake that he could have gone up against anybody other than arguably Arizona's best pitcher right now.
Their hottest guy. I would agree. We'll see. Are we throwing prediction outs on that or?
Yeah, I mean they won't hear from us until after 3, 4, and 5 anyway. So we can go predictions for 3, 4, 5, and then we can maybe reconvene after that. What do you got for outcomes for each game?
I'm kind of like changing my script as I'm like everything I've said for this episode. I feel like I'm trying to maybe switch things up. I don't know. I guess I got to stick to my prediction. I still have Rangers in 6. So give me a Rangers response game 3. Yeah. Give me a Rangers response game 3. Yeah, I think they take 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3.
The Rangers?
Rangers.
Middle
game going to the Diamondbacks.
I was going to say the same exact thing. I see the pendulum swing back and forth every game.
Yeah.
I see the Rangers coming out in game 3 with the response, like you said. I see the D-backs locking it in for game 4, riding the momentum of the crowd. Hopefully they'll be bringing it all 3 games. I see them picking up the middle game, and then I see the pendulum swinging back game 5, and then they take that back to Texas, and then from there. And I won't say that it's a done deal being back home because, like I said, we saw what the D-backs did at the bank, 6 and 7. So I won't put it past them, but we'll just have to let it play out at that point. But I kind of like the idea that the pendulum swings back and forth each game this series, because it seems like if there was a series for that to happen, it'd be this one, and I think we saw it. We saw that firsthand, games 1 and 2. So
brings for
it'll
better
be good.
Entertainment.
Yeah,
cool. Look at us going an hour and a half on 2 games. Look at that recap.
Close. We're like hour 10.
Sheesh.
Anyway, unless you got any other takeaways, we will see you guys. Let's see. Game 3 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Travel day Thursday. So who knows? We could see you guys.
Wait. What day is it? Sunday? Yeah. You're right. Travel day Thursday.
3, 4, 5. Travel day Thursday. Yeah. So who knows? Based on how this goes, season could be over next time you hear from us.
That's true.
But chances are probably not. But we'll see.
I don't think it will be, but it could be.
Other than that, though, we'll link back up with you guys at some point later in the series.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all I got.
Weather getting better. It's getting a lot cooler outside. You guys are hanging out more, doing more things. It's not as hot. Some of you are getting snow. Doesn't matter what kind of excuses you have. You still don't go chasing curveballs.
We love you all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.